we dated for 10 years. And after that, he said he was no longer interested. How long should a relationship last before you begin to think about marriage?
The point where two persons should begin to consider marriage is the point where they both feel they are ready.
I think time will tell
Hmm.
because now sometimes during this period of getting to know this particular person before marriage, you are not living together.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
There are some people, they after using the toilet, they don't flush. Maybe
Yeah,
because they forget.
Good. I'm just
And
talking
if
about
you are not
this.
living with that person, you might not notice. If the
Exactly.
person comes visiting, he might actually be putting his best foot forward. There Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Essay. I talk on faith, relationship, and personal development. If you're just joining me for the first time, thank you for coming. It feels so good to have you here. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back again. It means a lot to me that you'll be back again. I believe you can observe from my facial expression that I am happy today, and there's no other reason than the fact that I'm not here alone. I have two amazing people here with me, and I'll just give them the room to introduce themselves. It is being said that ladies should go first, right? So let's have the lady first.
My name is Essay Deborah.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm James Achems.
All right, so you're welcome, sir, and
Thank
you're
you.
welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to have you here. So today I want us to consider a topic that is really important. A lot of young people are interested in this topic. Some really want to know what to do because they are in that situation already, and some also want to know what to do when they get to that situation. And the topic I want us to consider is that how long should a relationship last before you begin to think about marriage? How long should a relationship last before you begin to think about marriage? There are times you see some stories online.
Yes.
You hear, we dated for 10 years, and after that he said he was no longer interested, or some would just say we dated for 4 years, for 6 years, and to an average man you begin to look at it like, that's long. And some other people would, or I know of somebody that actually said she dated her husband for 10 years, and today they're happily married, they have two children. So how long should a relationship last before you begin to think about marriage?
All right.
Okay. Let's go with the lady again.
I would say from 6 months
Okay.
because through that process you would have gotten to know this particular person.
Okay.
From the way you react, you relate, sorry. From the way you relate, you would have understood this particular person. Is this person serious with me? I
Okay.
think from that point you should be able to start thinking on how to get settled. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much
You're
for that.
welcome.
All right, Mr. James.
All right. In my opinion, I think the point where two persons should begin to consider marriage is the point where they both feel they are ready.
Hmm.
Yes, readiness is one of the major requirements for marital success.
Okay.
No matter how mature the person is,
Okay.
age-wise, if
Okay.
he's not ready,
Hmm.
he will definitely fail.
Okay.
And now that when we talk about readiness, that readiness entails primarily two things. She has mentioned one, which is time. Then the second one is maturity.
Hmm.
Yes. Now, time helps us to learn a lot of things about a particular person. There are a lot of things that you may not see now, but as time goes on, time reveals everything.
Yeah.
Yes, time is a revealer of things.
Hmm.
Just give, that's why they say give it time. Give it time and you see the result coming out.
Okay.
Then the second thing, like I said, is maturity. And this maturity is premised on about maybe four things. Number one, you have to do with mental maturity. That is the person's ability to reason. And this one involves wisdom. How wise is this person when it comes to handling situation? How good is this person handling issues about life? That's one. Then we also have other things like financial maturity. I think anybody stepping into marriage should be financially okay to an extent. And even if the person does not currently have a job, He should be hardworking.
And
Hardworking
make
is,
ends meet.
yes, is encompassing. And when we mean hardworking, maybe he has a handwork, or some persons are hustlers, as they call it. You see them very, very hardworking. But that concept of hustlers, I don't buy into all those things. Hustler can be somebody who is carrying doing, but doesn't that there are other things he can do anyway. But let's not really talk much about that. But financial maturity is one of the major things to look out for in a person that you want to get married to. I have a friend that, although this guy, he had no job, but he said he wanted to get married. Personally, I advised him, if it's possible, at least get something to do for yourself first. At least be doing something, because I believe if you can feed yourself, you can feed another mouth. So, but he felt that, okay, no challenge, he can take a step, a leap of faith, and he did it, and the thing is working out for him now.
Yeah.
But somebody else might do it,
And it will not work.
and it will not work.
Hmm.
Yes, I had a story about somebody else too, who is married to a woman. The woman earns more than him. She seems to be the one controlling the house. Yeah, so financially, financial buoyancy is a requirement for a man. So sometimes stepping into the marriage. Then another thing is what we call spiritual maturity.
Hmm.
I think that as at creation, God made man the head, the leader of the home. So he should be able to provide leadership spiritually for the home. You can imagine a situation where it is the woman that wakes the man up for devotion. It's just a matter of time. The devotion will soon stop, because she will eventually get tired. One day she will wake him up, and he will turn and look at her and say, "The woman, the
Never
next
in your
time,
life."
never in your life do this again." And that's how issues begin to
Yes.
arise. And then the integrity of the home is threatened.
Hmm.
So that spiritual maturity is one of the major things to look out for in a man, that any woman intends to get married. You should be able to lead the home spiritually, because as at when God called man and placed him in the garden, that was one of the instructions he gave to him. Say, and let them have dominion. Yes, over the fish and every other thing. So God put man in the forefront. So where it is the woman that is keeping the home, whether by prayers and by other things. You see, when couples pray together, the efficacy of that prayer generated weighs more before God than when it is only the woman that is standing as the pillar.
Yeah. Just
For the
reminds
home.
me of one shall chase 1,000,
Yes.
and two
yes,
shall chase
yes,
10,000.
exactly. So that's another kind of scenario we find again. So I've mentioned financial, mental, spiritual maturity, and then there should also be physical maturity. Yes. I think before talking about marriage, there's an age someone should get to before talking about marriage. It will be very absurd that somebody who is a man who is 19. Now, I'm not saying that a boy who is 19 cannot be thinking like somebody who is matured, but age sometimes brings experience.
Yeah.
And there are things it is only by experience you can learn them. There are things it's only experience that teaches you those things. So if you have not learned them by experience, chances are that you may make or fall into that error. So it is necessary that at least the person should have reached a particular age, and that's the reason why if you see, look at the state of the country. They say before you can vote, you must be up to 18 years. There's a reason why those status quo
Yeah. So
happen,
at
because
least you can even listen well.
yes, that's this age of accountability. He can be held responsible for his actions at that point. So age is one of the physical age is also another requirement. See, I put it at the list because it's sometimes people may not really take it into cognizance, but it still matters in the affairs of life. How mature the person is sometimes will impact almost most of the major things he does in his life too. All right, so
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you again. Now, the next question I'll ask you, you said for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask, is it really possible to know someone enough?
No.
Because there are certain couples that tell themselves that my wife will just do something. Somebody was even telling me recently that there are times my wife will just do something. I will now look at her like, is she the one? And they've been married for some years. So can you know someone enough?
No. I think time will tell. Because now sometimes during this period of getting to know this particular person before marriage, you are not living together.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
Yeah.
Now when you start living with this person, you get to know how dirty this person is, how neat this person is, how spiritual this person is. So now it's just like marriage is more of the revealer of who this particular person is. So you can't know a particular person enough.
Time reviews,
Yes.
marriage reviews.
Is it
Because you're not
marriage?
living.
Must you wait until you get married before you now wait for that revelation?
You know, there are some things you get to know when you begin to live with the person.
But beyond that,
You will see some things.
there
of
are some
course.
compatibility tests that we should carry out personally
Okay.
Yeah.
with anybody we intend to settle down with.
Okay.
And some of them we have a faith compatibility, yes, or belief compatibility. Do we have the same belief?
Okay.
Do we see okay, for instance, now just imagine, even though all of us are Christians, and then somebody is coming up with somebody who is let's say you are from a Pentecostal church, and then a guy who is from one of these let's say um let me use one of these white garments church sort of, is now coming around. You can see that there's already a gap sort of.
You have to bridge some of their
Yes.
beliefs and
Yes, the
practices.
beliefs already, there's a lacuna somewhere about it. So chances are that most likely, most parents usually kick against those kind of marriages. I had an experience with one of our friends some time ago. She met this guy. The guy is not very good. Okay, there was one I came across also. The guy is from the lady is from a deeper life, and the guy is from a living faith church. Ehen. So
To
I mean, look at
they will have
it's pull
to
apart.
work to bridge
Yes,
that
it
gap.
took them a whole lot. They both, in fact, that wedding, the lady's parent from deeper life, but no, they didn't attend the wedding. They did not attend the wedding, and she needed her parents' blessing. But they said that they are not going to honor it. That is not part of their, and they stood by it. So you see, that's one of the major things that, in fact, this one is even denominational stuff we are talking about,
Yeah.
not even the main belief itself yet.
Hmm.
Because there are still others that people can still be in the same Pentecostalism, but the belief system are
Just-
different.
Yes.
So, but make sure that there should be an alignment in your belief system. Make sure that what you believe is, let there be a correlation. Because in the same church where we attend, I hope you know there are people that still believes that divorce is correct. There are
Yeah.
persons who believes that. So if anybody that believes that divorce is a right or good thing to do, and you are dating that person, one of the things that should now be in your mind is that anytime this person can wake up and say he's divorcing, no, that's what it means.
Because he believes in it.
Because he believes, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. So that means you have accepting him means you have accepting that belief too. So there are basic compatibility tests that you can check.
Okay.
Then there are others too also, like you check temperamental compatibility. Get to discover what is your temperament using the 4 basic scale of temperament: sanguine, choleric, melancholy, and phlegmatic. So you use that quadrant and check, okay, if this person is choleric, that means I should brace up myself that this person will most likely be very, very temperamental and hot-headed and easily angered. So that means as you are stepping in with that person, bear it at the back of your mind that you are going to be a stabilizer or you'll
To
be a
cool
fridge.
things down.
Yes, to put it, you're a step down. So that's the implication. So there are basic things that already you can just pull out those basic stuff so that you can position yourself to know that, okay, this is what I'm stepping into, and I can be able to accommodate this, and that.
Okay. But how about some other trivial issues like there are some people, they after using the toilet they don't flush. maybe
yeah, yeah.
because they forget.
Good. I wanted
And
talking
if
about
you are
that.
not living with that person, you might not notice. If the
Exactly.
person comes visiting, he might actually be putting his best foot forward. There are some people, maybe after using the towel, they just fling it anyway. They have to
Yeah.
look for their socks under the bed, and you are an organized kind of person. So if you do not really get to begin to live with each other, are there ways that you can, or somebody that snores and you are the type of person you like peace, you just cover your eyes with your towel and this person is snoring and wants to pull the building down. So are there ways you can actually know somebody so deeply even before marriage or during the process of courtship?
Okay, I wanted talking about that too. That's
Okay.
we call all those ones are classified under behavioral compatibility.
Okay.
Then let's talk about two things under them. There's nature and there's nurture.
Okay.
Nature is the one that comes with the person naturally, and then nurture is as a result of upbringing. Like I learned that sometimes that I don't know how true it is, but people who do not grow up with their parents, why from childhood, they used to, as they grew up, that sometimes they used to have some, either they are not so organized or some issues like that. Anyway, I don't know how true it is, but I want to believe there are always exceptions to such things. But you see, in a case where this person is not organized, always put things, is not so in his or her dealings now, those kind of person, this is what I think personally. I think that as one matures, a point comes in a person's life where you make a you begin to take responsibility for your life. Yes, take responsibility. Okay, this is what I am doing that doesn't bode well, so to say. How can I adjust? Can I make adjustments? But then some persons do not care and they don't see anything wrong with what they are doing. They feel it's their life. If you are going in with that person, just make up your mind that you are ready to do this. But there are other ways to go about it. For instance, there are couples that in the home, they make some what we call ground rules. They can say, okay, if you use the toilet and you don't flush it, you are going to pay a fine of. Couples make
It
it
even makes
interesting.
the home interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we can play about it and I can make money in the process.
So that's the fun part of it. But when it comes to behavioral things, I think that there are basic rules a person should be able to
Abide by.
yes, especially for we men self. I know most men can be sometimes disoriented, disorganized, and they are not so well, maybe because of our upbringing. Some of us may not have been taught how to cook, but you can still teach yourself how to cook. So that one is another plus. But some, because of that upbringing, they may not really invest in it again, and because it's so easy to buy food outside, you can even order for food and they bring it to your house. So most don't even bother themselves trying to see how they can teach themselves some of these stuffs like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. The next question I'll ask now is long courtship a guarantee for good marriage?
Ooh.
So I don't know who would answer that.
The truth is, it's not.
Okay.
Because at least I've met someone, they courted for like 10 years, and now the husband left her for another woman.
Wow.
So all this, the truth is, every man knows a woman he in particular wants to be with. From the onset, like from the first day, like, will you marry me?
You
Or will
already
you
know if you are
exactly
the one or
he
not.
already knows.
Okay.
So now spending 10 years, 50 years, 100 years is not a guarantee. From the day one, he already knows what is in his mind. So I think that's what I have to say about this.
Okay.
Okay, long courtship is not a guarantee for a successful marriage. Neither is a short courtship
A
for a
guarantee.
guarantee for a successful marriage. But what I basically think is a guarantee for a successful marriage is God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just God.
Hmm.
Mhm. So people is not the length of time necessarily. It's not really. The time may be necessary sometimes to learn some things
Yeah.
because we are humans.
Reviews.
Mhm. But beyond that, because there are a lot of persons that they hide a lot of secrets. And some persons are so good at hiding secret that you may never know. Except maybe something happens and then it's revealed or known unto you. So it's not time at all, it's not the factor, except we will just have to trust God in this matter. I know there are some persons that they have fears about getting into this marriage? What if it's the wrong person? What if this is not what I hoped for? What if this? All of those fears. Sometimes that's a foundation for a very long marriage, because those fears you have, they usually they manifest themselves with time. Yeah, if you have checked your life, you will notice that our life moves primarily in the direction of our persistent thoughts. If you start thinking in one particular direction, it's just a matter of time. You see yourself gravitating towards that line.
Yeah.
So change your thoughts for a better life. Yes. In fact, if you know how to work on your mind, by the power of your mind and your thought, you can push yourself into your desired future. Yes, that future you are hoping for through your mind. You can. There's a way that um your thoughts can, how do I explain this now? Maybe you have any better words you want to explain how people can use their what they, the Bible say, okay, all right, that's a man thinketh.
Yeah, your thoughts can
Yes.
attract what
Yes, it
things
attracts
to
things.
you.
Yes,
That's who you are.
yes. Once you start becoming scared of something, fear
Yeah.
is a demon
Yes.
and opens the room for other demons to come and torment a person. So once you open that room, that's how others will come, and then before you know, so many things can start going wrong within that person's life, that person's circle. So let's cast away that fear. It is possible. You may be saying, how about others who have done it and it did not work? How about others who have done it and it worked? So if it can happen to one, then it can happen to all. So let us start seeing it in that particular light. Let's start seeing it in that light. That is possible now. People are enjoying their homes. So we too should be an exception. And I also want to believe that I don't think anybody had ever gotten married. Okay, gotten married with the hope that his or her marriage will fail. Have you thought about that before?
Yeah.
Nobody had. But it fails because there's something went wrong, and some persons fail to fix that thing. It can be fixed. Yes, as long as it is broken, it can be fixed. So that's how this thing. But it's the failure of persons to come together to fix this thing that leaves
Makes
it
it exposed.
permanently broken, and as though it cannot be fixed. There's nothing that cannot be fixed. There's no problem that we cannot solve as humans.
All right. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. There's
You're
no
welcome.
problem that cannot be solved.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem, what you should look for is the solution. It's not to run or
Yes.
to just pretend as if it does not exist. So I don't know if you have any final word for our viewers before we just call it a day.
All right, what I have to say right now is that when it comes to things about marriage, it's just God. Whatsoever decision you're making, you have to take it to prayers. Both the relationship, the marriage process. If you build it on God, or if you leave it to God to take charge of it, the whole thing will it will look so beautiful and everything will go really easy for you. So, God factor.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
I know that there are a lot of persons out there who feels like time is running out of them, who feel hopeless. They feel like if they can never get it right, but you can. And there are some things you need to do. First, you need to deal with the spirit of fear. You need to deal with that spirit of fear. It can trap you in your past. And one of the things that easily brings people into the bondage of fear is their past experience. Be careful about your experience, because some people say experience is the best teacher, but I don't think it is the best teacher. Yes, experience may not necessarily be the best teacher. Sometimes it's the worst teacher, and it can put people to live persistently in their past. It doesn't allow people to move forward. It keeps them, in a particular place for too long, that they
Sure.
forget that yes, that there can be a better tomorrow, that there can be a better future for them. So don't allow the things you have been through become a determinant for what you can become. Sometimes that relationship did not work, not because the person was even a wrong person, not because the person was a bad person, but because there was something that God was trying to deliver you from in the nearest future. But you have not foreseen it. But because God has gone ahead of you, He has seen it. and he's trying to say, okay, I don't want you to go through this life. Okay, let this thing not work. And you now, because it did not work, and you are unable to
Yes.
articulate what God is trying to do for you, you have
Mhm.
now say, okay, look at me now. I spoke to someone sometime who said that the relationship is no longer for her again. And I was like, why should you be talking like this? That it failed does not mean makes you a failed person.
Yeah.
It's just an experience which is gone, is past, but your life continues.
Yeah.
So why don't you just keep it aside and move on? So the spirit of fear must be dealt with, and then you must also persistently renew your mind. Many of us, we are looking for the right person, but we fail to realize that if we are also the right person,
To make things easier, if
Yes.
everybody is the right person, you just
It
pick
becomes
one,
easier.
and
You can be with anybody and it can work.
yes.
I saw a funny post where somebody said a man wrote a book and titled the book, I'm sure it was, I've seen it, How to Change Your Wife in 30 Days. Now the book sold about 7 million copies.
Wow.
So it was now discovered that it was even a mistake. That the original title of that book was supposed to be How to Change Your Life in 30 Days.
Wow.
So when it was later changed, that the book sold how many copies? It's maybe not even up to 50 copies.
Wow.
So that tells us that people are more interested in changing others
Than themselves.
than themselves. The moment you start looking more at yourself, you see that that's how the world becomes a better place. Individual responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but many persons are so concerned. Let me meet Mr. Right. And you are just there.
You can also be that
Be
Right.
Mr. Right. Let somebody
Mr.
meet you.
Right.
It's even more easier when you are that person who is right, and then the person meets you. That's the easiest way to go. So if we can take that time, especially when we are single, to work on ourselves, build on ourselves, develop ourselves, so that we can become better. Because the quality of your marriage is dependent on your input. Yes, and input is determined by, the thing is a circle. Input is determined by what you have. So if you have nothing to offer, then there won't be output now. There's no desired or expected result.
Yeah.
So let's ensure that we work on ourselves. Let's be very deliberate with our life. Deal with the spirit of fear. And then also, let's be also open-minded. Yes, I think we need to talk about that too. Open-mindedness. Let's try as much as we can to be open-minded. So don't close to your mind. Because if you close to your mind, you are closing yourself to receiving some of the best that can ever come your way.
Okay. Thank you so much. Be
Yeah.
open-minded so that you would not shut yourself against doors of opportunities and good things that can come your way. All right. So thank you so much for
You're
coming.
welcome.
It's really an amazing session with you. And I want to believe that my viewers have also learned a lot. And thank you all for watching till this moment. I want to believe you've enjoyed this video and you've also learned a thing or two. If there's any point that actually got your attention, you can just drop it down in the comment section. Tell us also what you think about dating periods. How long do you think a relationship should last before you talk about marriage? Is a long courtship a guarantee for a good marriage? Let's just hear your opinion in the comment section. Do not forget to hit the like button so that you can encourage me and let me know that you actually love what you have watched. And also please subscribe so that you can keep getting more amazing videos from me. Do not also forget to share to your loved ones so that they can be a part of the great thing happening in here. All right, keep taking care of yourself. We just had
Essaying Deborah.
and
James Achas.
I still remain Sarah saying see you some other time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.